Now, when you speak about remembering God, you're also speaking about remembering your relationship with God and your function, your duty and connection with God. Okay. Who are you? Who is God? What is your relationship? Okay. The relationship is one of service, loving service. If you know who you are, part and parcel of God, spirit, soul, spirit, not matter. If you know that you are the eternal spirit soul, only temporarily in this material body, if you have this spiritual understanding, if you have this and you understand that you are a part and parcel of God, and you are acting on this fact by rendering loving service to God in this life, in this world, trying to serve Him, trying to please Him, then your life will be a life of meditation upon God. Just like, for example, sometimes a family man, he works hard all day at the office, Maybe he's working 6, 7 o'clock at night, hassling over all these papers and everything, so he wants to go. And he looks over at this picture of his wife and kids sitting on the desk. And he remembers why he's going through all this trouble, why he's going through all this sacrifice. He looks at the picture of his wife and kids, and he gets motivation to continue on with what he's doing. Okay, this shows how a person's life's activity and his meditation is connected. If God is the person who you're serving, if God is the most important person in your life, so that your entire life's activities are centered around Him, focused around Him, okay? Just like the example of this man whose life was centered around serving his family. In the same way, if your life is centered around serving God, pleasing God, then in the same way that the family man remembers his family, you will remember God. It's the same principle. But because the object of meditation is God, this is what makes it different. You can take the same principle and apply it to God, and your whole life will become a life of meditation upon God. If you dovetail your life with God's will, you dovetail your will with God's will, then you're always going to be thinking of Him. It's automatic. For example, we teach the process of sadhana bhakti or bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga has several different not just practices, but several different ways of applying practices, if you like. One of them is that a person, one of them is that a person dovetails their tendencies, their abilities, okay, in God's service. So, for example, a person who's a businessman, he just has this tendency to do business. He works as a businessman. He can do business, but instead of doing his business simply for himself, thinking, oh, let me do this business and make a lot of money so that I can enjoy life, or, unlike so many people on Wall Street that simply try to make more money to make more money to make more money endlessly just for the power of it, just to feel that they are getting somewhere and that they're controlling something. This God-conscious person, he engages in business, but he only keeps the amount of money, the profit, to keep the business going that's necessary, and for himself and his family, only enough to make it so that they can live their life. He does not think all of this is mine. he's feeling that I'm doing this business for God and the profits really belong to him, that this is his business. He's thinking that he doesn't think of his business, whether it's a store or a tailor shop or whatever kind of business it may be. A surfboard shop, it can be anything, yeah? But he's feeling this is not my business. This is God's. This belongs to God. I'm working for him. This is his store and I'm working here. I'm the manager. Okay? This is his and I'm managing it. That's all. And the money that comes in, it's his. It belongs to him. Okay? So that means that every time he sees the money, he thinks of who owns it. Right? Because it's now interconnected. Now God is connected with his activities. So when he sees the money, he doesn't see big yachts and all kinds of new things for sensual enjoyment. Okay? When he sees the money, he doesn't think, power, me, more power. He doesn't. See, most businessmen are like that, you see. Either when they see the money, they either experience, in their mind, they start thinking, I can enjoy with this. Oh, the profits I can enjoy. They're enjoying like this. Or they're thinking power. They start feeling, I'm getting more power. Okay? But a person who's God conscious and who feels that this is actually God's business, doesn't have this. Doesn't have this experience. When he sees the money and he sees there's more money, then he goes, this is more money I can offer to the Supreme Lord. This is his. This is a whole nother outlook. When he sees money, he thinks of God. He doesn't think of sense enjoyment, and he doesn't think of his own power. He simply remembers his relationship with God, that I am God's servant. So in this sense, money then becomes a method which helps him remember God. Money, which is the root of all evil, money which is so degrading. Money, this lowest of all things, which is the God of everyone, the idol worshipped by the people, that even this thing itself can become a instigator of God consciousness for someone who's dovetailing his whole life around God. This is a process of karma yoga or bhakti yoga. A person's whole life can be centered around God. Maybe they're a mother and they're raising their children. Maybe they have no talent, but from the very beginning, she can be speaking and singing to her child the names of God. Meditation means keeping the mind on God. And the process of bhakti yoga is a process of dovetailing or arranging a person's entire life around, or arranging a person's entire life in such a way so that they can always be in loving remembrance of God, remembering their eternal identity, their eternal relationship with the Supreme Eternal Person.